You want someone to do something? Just tell them not to. Welcome to the mind-bending world of reverse psychology, a psychological Uno reverse card where you feel manipulated, but still think, yup, this was totally my idea. Why does it work? Because no one likes being controlled. Not even the lazy part of your brain. The moment someone says you can't do that, your mind goes, watch me. Psychologists call it reactance, a mental rebellion against being told what to do. There's a tiny resistance gremlin in your head that screams no. The second someone says yes, and you've 100% felt it. Your kid doesn't want broccoli? That's okay. Maybe you're just not strong enough yet. Suddenly, it's their new favorite snack. Your teenager doesn't care about the party? Whatever, you probably wouldn't know anyone there anyway. 10 minutes later, they're dressed and in the car. Ads say, this product is only for the bold. And your brain's like, I'm bold. I'm basically a lion with a credit card. Now let's talk about why we want things just because we're told we can't have them. It's called the forbidden fruit effect. And when you mix it with scarcity, it's game over. Only 2 left in stock. Limited edition. This offer isn't for everyone. Sounds like manipulation? It is, and it works like magic. This trick is everywhere, even in negotiations. Someone's unsure? Say, you're probably not interested anyway. Boom, now they are. Managers say, I doubt anyone here is brave enough to take this challenge. And suddenly 5 people raise their hands like it's a competition. Trainers say, you're probably too tired to run another lap. And your ego responds, hold my protein shake. But here's the dark side. Reverse psychology can be used to manipulate without ever looking like manipulation. Fine, leave if you want. Cue the guilt trip. I don't need you, others want me anyway. Suddenly, you're chasing someone you didn't even want 5 minutes ago. It's subtle, it's sneaky, and it works, especially when your emotions are involved. So here's your mental shield. When someone tells you not to do something, pause and ask, do I really want this? Or do I just want to prove them wrong? Now, speaking of your brain messing with you, have you ever tried to relax, but your brain keeps reminding you of that one email you didn't send, or the laundry you didn't fold, or that argument where you should have said something cooler? Welcome to the Zeigarnik effect, your brain's favorite mental cliffhanger. It loves open loops. It hates them too, like an emotional ex that won't let go. Unfinished tasks? Your brain treats them like puzzles that must be solved. So until you close the loop, it's gonna haunt you, even at night, even on vacation. This all goes back to the 1920s, when psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik noticed that waiters could perfectly remember unpaid orders, but once the bill was paid, poof, gone. Unfinished saved, finished deleted. And yeah, you're not just addicted to the show, you're addicted to the lack of closure. Here's the plot twist though. This effect can totally sabotage you. Too many open tasks, mental overload, procrastination. Now you're doing nothing and still feel overwhelmed, but you can flip it to your advantage. Start something, even just for 5 minutes. Your brain wants to finish what it started. Leave a study session mid-chapter. Your brain will come back tomorrow like, yo, what happens next? And before bed, write your tasks down. Brain dump it all. It's like telling your mind, chill, we got this saved for later. The Zeigarnik effect is like that one friend who never lets anything go. But if you understand it, you can make it work for you, not against you. And now, let's dig even deeper. What if everything you believe is just a lie you've heard too many times? No, really. Welcome to the illusory truth effect, the psychological glitch that tricks your brain into believing something is true just because it sounds familiar. Why does this happen? Because your brain is lazy. It doesn't want to fact-check every sentence it hears. So it uses shortcuts, and one of the biggest is familiarity. If you hear something often enough, your brain assumes it must be true, even if it's total nonsense. Examples? Sugar makes kids hyper? Nope. We use only 10% of our brain. Total myth. Lightning never strikes the same place twice. It absolutely does. Your brain hears these over and over and says, sounds familiar, must be right. That's why advertising works so well. You know Red Bull won't give you wings, but your brain still goes energy, alert, superpowers. In 1977, researchers proved this. People were shown true and false statements multiple times. The more often they saw a statement, the more likely they were to believe it, even when they knew it wasn't true. Familiarity beats facts. Convenience beats truth. Welcome to the inside of your own head. So how do you protect yourself? So now you know your brain can turn lies into facts just because it's lazy. But what happens when your brain gets caught between two truths it doesn't want to deal with? That's where cognitive dissonance kicks in. Let's say you think of yourself as smart, responsible, health conscious, but you smoke. Your brain goes, wait, how can I be smart and do something stupid? Cue the mental gymnastics. Instead of changing the behavior, you change the story. My grandpa smoked every day and lived to 90. Boom. Discomfort gone. We all do it. Buy something expensive you regret. You don't admit it was a bad call. You say it's an investment, even if it's a vibrating neck massager shaped like a llama. The bigger the threat to your identity, the harder your brain works to justify your actions. Politicians use this. Cult leaders use this. Marketers use this. They start with small commitments, a petition, a free sample, a trial. Then slowly they wrap it into your identity. I'm someone who supports this. I believe in that cause. Now you're less likely to back out, even when things don't add up. And here's the thing. The more self-aware you are, the more you can catch yourself doing it. Am I holding on to this belief because it's true? Or just because it makes me feel better about myself? Now let's shift gears. Have you ever walked into a store, seen a jacket for $500, then spotted another one for $150 and thought, wow, what a steal? That's not a deal. That's anchoring bias, and it's everywhere. Your brain locks on to the first number or idea it hears. That becomes the anchor. Everything after that is judged in relation to it. If the $500 jacket came second, the $150 one might suddenly feel overpriced. The actual value hasn't changed, only your frame of reference has. This happens in salary talks too. If a company says $40,000, that's your baseline. But if you go in asking for $60,000, now the entire negotiation shifts upward. First impressions? Meet someone and hear they're brilliant. You'll find signs of brilliance everywhere. Hear they're difficult? Suddenly, every sigh feels like an insult. Anchoring is subtle and powerful. To fight it, question the first thing you hear. Ask, is this actually a good deal? Or does it just look good next to something worse? And speaking of how things look, the exact same fact can make you say yes or no, depending entirely on how it's framed. That's called the framing effect. Imagine a doctor tells you, there's a 90% survival rate for this surgery. Sounds reassuring, right? Now imagine they say, there's a 10% chance you'll die. Exact same data. Totally different vibe. Marketers do this all the time. They don't say 20% of users didn't like it. They say 80% of users were satisfied. One makes you panic. The other makes you buy. To spot it, flip the framing. Ask yourself, what's the other side of this stat? Am I reacting to the numbers or how they're packaged? Now, let's talk about the sneakiest effect of all, the mere exposure effect. You don't have to like something at first. You just have to see it a lot. That weird song on the radio? Annoying the first time. Kinda catchy the third time. Now it's your jam. That random brand that keeps popping up in your feed. You trust it more just because it's familiar. Even faces start to feel more likable the more we see them. That's why ads bombard you with repetition. Not because the product is great, but because your brain loves what it knows. Now let's add in loss aversion. People will go to extreme lengths to not lose something they didn't even care about before they had it. Give someone a free trial? Now they own it. Take it away? Now they feel the loss. That's why free trials work. That's why people stay in relationships, jobs, cities they've outgrown. Because losing what they've invested, even time, feels worse than chasing something better. To fight it, shift your perspective. Stop asking, what will I lose? Start asking, what could I gain? Now here's where it all comes together. Social proof. When in doubt, we look to other people. What are they doing? If 10,000 people bought that air fryer, maybe I should too. If everyone's following that influencer, maybe they know something I don't. That's not logic. That's herd mentality. Social proof isn't always bad, but it can be faked. Bot reviews, paid testimonials, fake lines outside stores, and still we fall for it. Why? Because uncertainty is uncomfortable, and following the crowd feels safer than thinking alone. Which brings us to the Pygmalion effect. When someone believes in you, really believes in you, you rise to meet that expectation. Teachers, coaches, bosses, they set the bar. And if they expect greatness, you're more likely to deliver it. It's the ultimate life hack. Surround yourself with people who see your potential, and you'll start to see it too. But flip it. If people expect nothing, you might unconsciously prove them right. And finally, the halo effect. We meet someone, and they're charming, funny, confident. Suddenly we assume they're also smart, talented, capable, even if they're just charming. This bias spills into hiring, dating, marketing, you name it. If one part shines, we assume the whole package does. To fight it, slow down. Ask, am I judging the person or just the shine? Because in a world of mental shortcuts, the only real superpower is awareness. Want to break free from these brain glitches? The first step is knowing they exist. The second, rewatch this video and maybe share it with someone whose brain could use a reboot too. Or don't, unless you're brave enough. Let's see who clicks.